everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us as we do the challenge reveal for Jarrett Ross, Genea vlogger. Thanks, Jarrett, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. So happy to be here.
And also we have Chris Ferriolo and Jayme Mullins, and our team captain for the week was Elaine Martzen. Thank you all for joining us today. So just a little bit about Jarrett. He's known as Genea vlogger. He's a professional genetic genealogist, currently working as the lead investigative genealogist at DNA Labs International. Jarrett also volunteers as a gene curator, a search angel, vice president of Triangle Jewish Genealogical Society, and is on the board of directors for the International Association of Jewish Genealogical Societies. That's a lot. That's a lot. You got a lot going on.
Wear a lot of hats.
And he has a YouTube channel also. So there you go.
Yeah.
2 of them.
So that if somebody is new to the WikiTree challenge, doesn't quite know what we're talking about, it's WikiTree's biggest ongoing community event. Every other week, a team of WikiTree volunteers grows connections for a special guest. And when it first started in 2021, Jarrett was a guest then as well. And at the time, it was just growing out to as many ancestors as we could get pushed back for you. But this year, it's all about growing 7 degrees of connections. So it's a little bit different.
We're trying to make it grow wider.
Yeah, so CC7 is what we kind of term it. Connection count within 7 degrees. And connections are family relationships. So this includes relationships through marriage. The degrees measures the distance of the relationship. So nuclear relatives, for example, parents, siblings, spouses, and children are 1 degree away. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, in-laws, and grandchildren are 2 degrees. So they're connected through 2 relationship steps, and so on. The higher your CC7 number is, the fuller your branches in the tree are. So that's just a little bit about what the challenge is about this year. And to start us off, I just want to share your connections to the other stars this for this year. Oops, let me go to the right place here. Sorry about that. So here are all the guest stars from the year so far, and we've got a little graph here showing you what your relationships are with them. And actually, when I was updating this for your information the other day, I noticed that Melanie actually got closer to people since the last time we had worked on her. So that was kind of fun to see. Because the more connections you have out there, the more likely that somebody else is going to connect in with you. So it's just a kind of a fun thing to check out there. And then also you can see on your profile is you have the category of all the challenge guest stars have. Let me just take you there. So you can, once you're in there, you can check your connections with the other people who have that same category. So no relations as yet, but your closest degree connection is with Kevin Bacon at 18 degrees.
Very cool.
So unfortunately, we weren't able to get him on video. Some of those were like one year we did celebrities in general instead of genealogy celebrities, so we didn't get them to show up. Like Matthew McConaughey, too bad. I know. Did Lewis Kessler get 1 degree closer? I think we were mad he didn't get 1 degree closer. I forget.
I think he did. So on the score sheet, which let's go ahead and look at that next. We had 27 participants this week that did all from 1 edit all the way up to 862 edits with Lewis. Lewis
Wow.
blew everybody out of the water this week with over 400 profiles created. So that was really exciting to
And
see.
I got a modest 9th place, which is okay. You know, it's a little tough going.
So across the top here, there are some more views of your week information, and one of them is the distances. What this does is it shows you the degree connection you have with the other to the participants in the WikiTree challenge. Anybody who's taking part in a challenge week, they are going to be on this page. And so you can already see there were quite a few people where you got closer to a lot of people.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by a degree or two. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of great. That I think there was even somebody at 6 degree change that happened. So it's kind of cool. So that's just some fun information for you that's on your score sheet for your week. You can check that out. And then next, before we go into the rest of my co-hosts sharing what they were going to share and all the work that they did this week, I just want to go ahead and share what Greg usually would be sharing. But Greg's not able to be here tonight, so we'll go ahead and share this information. So we took a snapshot of your 6 degree, or this is actually 7 degrees. Greg has an app called the 6 Degrees app that he created, and it was right before we started using the term 7 degrees, the CC7. So we still call it the 6 Degree app. But anyway, we took a snapshot before, and then here is, let's see, some of these. There we go. This is 969 connections is what we ended up with at the end of the challenge week. And it's not as many as what you'll see on your profile, because this app is looking at the database dump. So it's any private profiles wouldn't be included in this information.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why there's a difference, a number difference.
You had a lot of private profiles, so
yeah. So that's to take into consideration when some of these searches are done, or you see some of the numbers that we have. That's what the difference is.
Okay.
So another way that you can look at your information for your week with WikiTree Plus, we have in the tree apps, there's an option for WikiTree Maps view of your family tree. But also in WikiTree Plus, if you just go directly to plus.wikitree.com and you put in the search term that I'll give you for your week, it will give you all the profiles that were in this challenge. And so what this is now is all those profiles and their migration pattern. So the red dot is birth location, and the blue dot is death location. So it's kind of interesting to see how that works. So we'll kind of zoom in here.
I want to see the one in China. I feel like we had talked about it, but now I forgot. Oh, wait.
That's not China.
That's not China. Oops.
That's not China. That's part of Russia.
Yeah. Whoops.
Outside China.
I remember we talked about Kaifeng Jewish population, but that was something else.
Russia.
Never mind.
I'm a little disappointed nobody died at sea.
We had one. No, wait. No, we didn't have a train accident like you had asked. We had or Celia was like, "Oh man, we didn't have one this time. We had
but we did have something
an
else.
airplane. We had an
We had
airplane
something
death.
else on the interesting
there we
facts
go.
that I'm going to have to talk about. Yikes.
For a couple years, every time they did a challenge, there would be a train accident.
Well, I think one of the interesting facts is kind of on par with that. So hold your thought on that.
So
this
this is just another zoomed in view for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of great. And I'll show you the live view. This is just a snapshot. And we'll share where this Google Drive folder is with you too, so you have access to them.
Cool.
So on the live view, you can click the dots and see who the
You
person
can scroll
is.
right down
Yeah.
into it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow,
here's
look at
the
that.
U.S. It's zoomed into the U.S. here.
I think
And
New York and
then-
LA have a big impact there.
Yeah. So then I zoomed into the northeast coast there,
Yeah.
and then the southwest coast.
So this is all CC7 that this is showing in the map?
No, it wouldn't have the private profiles.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is everyone from the 6th degree.
No, this is everybody
From the 6 degree app, yes.
Yes.
Well,
It's the
it
same
was
numbers with that.
yeah,
Okay.
it within 7 degrees. So
Yeah.
So
If
he
you
had
type-
added
if you
his.
just- oh, go ahead.
So he had added his siblings, in-laws, or something. So once we got to those in-laws, grandparents, or whatever, they were deceased. Would they be on this map too, or not?
Yeah.
Because it routes through. They would be on
I'm
the
not sure. That's a
Can't remember. I think it does, but I'm not positive.
yeah. You know, it's funny because I want to say it does, but then I'm just not quite sure enough to say.
We can
for
play with it later.
Yeah, it's a question for Alesh. So this is WikiTree Plus. I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at it at all,
Little bit.
but just want to pop in the term here that I was talking about, that you can see all your profiles from your week. And like I said, I'll send that to you. Let's see, go ahead and do get profiles. So here's the data itself, and then you can see, oh, sorry. Oops. You can see there's a link up here for WikiTree Plus map.
Okay.
So you can do that with, so if you want to see CC7 of, say, your, one of your ancestors, you can put in a different search. So let me just grab that real quick.
There's a dog with a toy in my background. Sorry. There might be weird noises.
Just going to grab their profile ID. Sometimes I remember them all and sometimes I don't. Okay, here we go. Goldberg. So if you type in CC7 equals Goldberg 105 and hit go, this will give you the 7 degree profiles from that profile. So it can give you a little bit different of a WikiTree map.
And that doesn't include just what we added this week. That includes
Everything.
since the starter's profile. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see you can zoom in down to real detail level. And like Elaine said, you can actually click on a dot and it brings up the profile. And then you can go from there into the WikiTree profile itself. So it's a really great tool.
Man, I should have pulled that up during the week. Like, this is so fun. I forgot about it. Wow.
Yeah, lots of fun. We love it. It's just a really great, just one of the many aspects of WikiTree that we just love.
Yeah.
So, another thing you can do, that something I do a lot, is if you just want to see, maybe you want to see all the people who died by the death country, so you can see where people, migrated to.
Mm.
Oh, there is one at sea. There you go.
Oh. It must not be tagged quite right, or they would be randomly appearing off the coast of Africa.
Well, this is the 7 degrees from his
That's true. Yeah,
great grandfather. Yeah.
Maybe it's degree 9 from
you.
Oh.
So anyway, there's lots to explore there for you, and of course the tree apps right from your profile, the tree apps tab. Lots to see from there. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the locations a little bit that we went to, just to kind of have a nice list to look at. So Austria all the, Canada, there's lots of different locations that were listed out by the participants. And then I think we had, 17 states of America
I don't
there.
know that we went through all of them either. Like, I doubt that's complete, but
I'm sure it
basically
probably
everywhere.
isn't. Yeah, and you'll see too on your profile at the top here. Even though that other view showed I think 900 and something, this is 1535. So that's you can tell there's a difference there.
And the one and in WikiTree Plus, it was saying 1422. So there's
That might have been
There's
everything maybe we added 1422 this week, and he had started out with
on the challenge, right?
1435. Yeah, minus.
Yeah, we actually did 1498.
Huh.
That's how many profiles were added. Yeah. It's pretty great.
I think Jarrett owes Lewis a coffee at their next conference.
Yeah, it's really interesting because there.
No, I don't think I'll
actually
work as much this week as the other week. That wasn't true. He totally did.
So actually 961 profiles were added, but because some of them made connections that were already on WikiTree, they pulled in more profiles that way. So that's the differences there too. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think just to make things a little bit more confusing, I think it also depends on how you're logged in to WikiTree Plus. If it's you may see more
Different
things than Azure will see because of permissions and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, like all the private profiles of close.
It's not all of them, but there's because permissions, but I think it may be more of them.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
Ooh, we've got a Melanie in the
Chat.
chat now.
I just give it a link
Watching.
to the chat, and I'll see if she takes the bait.
So Elaine actually created a space page for your challenge, kind of a supplemental one to the one that we had going, to really kind of answer your request about the Holocaust victims and the notables. So Elaine, did you want to talk about the notables a little bit?
You'll have to click on it because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I set it up, but I didn't do. I'm not the one who found a lot of the notables. Oh, I know that there is I think it was an interesting finds, but siblings had set up a fur store in California. I think that was the Minsky Mills group. Oh, that's so nice that they're tabled with the relationships. And Jayme did all the work on the Holocaust victims, so that was her contribution.
Yeah, so there were the 6 that were actual relations, all the way from 4 degrees to 9 degrees there, and then there were, I think, 20 that were just connections, notable connections. So from 5 degrees out to 8 degrees.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of great to see. So this is linked
I
on
know
your
you found some of those
page.
yourself, but not all of them.
For all the blood relatives, I knew all 6 of those, so those were all. And then for the other connections, I know that goes crazy because especially I like to say that a lot of my family is Hollywood family, so we have so many of those connections that within a few degrees, it's like.
Yeah, just because of the multiple marriages of different ones, and then it just ends up grabbing a whole bunch of other people. So Jayme did a ton of work on the Holocaust. How many profiles did you end up adding? It was like 200. There were
the actual blood-related Holocaust victims, I think I got up to 152 or 154. I can't remember. But like through the process, it was adding like 200. You'll notice they're all like more or less outside of 7 degrees, so it doesn't show up there. But sadly, there's hundreds more. Because what I was doing is I would work from one of your most recent ancestors that I could, and just go down, and every single child they had, all the way down, and it was just so many. One thing I made sure to do with all of these is I did use the monument site, obviously, which is a fantastic resource. but I didn't add anyone who I couldn't also get a primary source with it as well. So there are some like sorry, it is oddly depressing. There are some younger people born after 1924 that it was just harder to get records for that I couldn't add. But yeah, got them all. All of these listed are blood relatives to you going out. I think the furthest is fifth cousins. But someone put it in a really nice table, so I'm glad about that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. With the Netherlands, it's, absolutely decimated in the Shoah. So yeah, I when I was in Amsterdam last year, I went and visited the monument where they have a brick for every victim from the Netherlands, and I mean it's absolutely massive. So yeah, when I did my Nunez Vaz family graph where we found over 4,000 family members, over 1,000 family members were murdered in the Holocaust just for that family. So yeah,
Well, and just to do a little plug for Elaine's project, the Holocaust project that she has going, and then they have an initiative to add all of the Auschwitz victims by January 2025. So just wanted to give a plug for that, because that is just some really good work that's being done there. So
yeah, I was pretty meticulous about categorizing them. I think about 50% of them were Auschwitz. There was a random few in there, but about the other 50% is Sobibor. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but yeah.
Those were definitely the two places, and by that time too, that was when the Nazis were really meticulous in records. So they have all the train records, all the dates, and all that stuff. And what Jayme mentioned before, the monument, the Yodes Monument, JOODS monument.nl, something that for anyone who's not familiar, definitely worth checking out, because it's a very useful research website, but it's also a very interesting website to really literally see the people and their lives, and it breaks everything down in terms of where they lived and all of that. Yeah. So thank you for that work, Jayme.
Oh no, you're very welcome. And it's under interesting finds, but it's a fourth or fifth cousin of yours that was like the one bright side. It was a story that I found on the monument site of him surviving. He was smuggled out as an infant. Some lady literally pretended to faint in front of the Jewish children's home. And while they were attending to her, someone smuggled him out in a stroller. And then a family in another part of the Netherlands, I can't remember where, had him actually registered on their family log. And if you click on the article, you don't have to do that now, but if you click on the article, you can actually see the log where he's registered as their child. And they became his foster parents. His mom actually survived the camps. So he was reunited with her. But it was a nice, heartwarming story after everything else. So I wanted to add that for you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's not something I've heard about before, but the Robles family is one of those families that's kind of like a big name in the research I've done. So that's especially interesting. Joop Robles.
Yeah, he was born in the 1940s, and so I could not find a death record, so I couldn't make a profile for him. I made his father's, but yeah, I had fun translating this.
I wonder if he's still alive.
Right, I think he could be. So, yeah.
Jeez, and for me, that's what I do. I try to find them, so I'm going to see if I can try to find him.
Definitely, yes.
That's when you go to whitepages.com instead of Ancestry.
Or I love Been Verified. That's a pretty good site too. Been Verified, Spokio.
Yeah.
And Jayme, did you add the children who died, who were born after 1924? Did you add them to WikiTree and just not the list? Or are they not on WikiTree yet?
There are some. I was able to find a death record on OpenArch that were born after 1920s. So between 1924 and 1945, if they were born there, it is less likely I added them, but I did find death records for several of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just wondering. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to point out while we're talking about it that with the categories in WikiTree, you can do, you go to a category like the Auschwitz concentration camp victims category, and then you can click the My Connections button. And you can do this for any of them. And I'm just going to change
Like
this to
any
your
category.
profile ID.
Mhm.
Yeah, any category on WikiTree. So it is just showing the first page.
Yeah.
Right, because there's 12,000, I think, in this category alone. So over 12,000. So if you scroll through next, it will take you through, and you can see,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, how many degrees away he is from anyone who died in Auschwitz.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had to click page by page.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the category,
Confused
because
otherwise.
each category page is just that category for the first, I think, 200.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it's only going to show your connections to that first 200. So you have
Okay.
to keep them
You
through.
can see the first sentence there. It tells you where they started in the.
Is
Okay.
it going alphabetically?
Yeah, it is. It's going alphabetically by the user, the profile ID. Yeah. So as you get closer, I think just trying to get to that one surname.
Genius.
Yeah. But you can see there. It's a really great feature of WikiTree. I just have always loved since I first came to WikiTree. So
There's a lot of less depressing categories you can go through.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But it is a way to see.
It's very powerful, nonetheless.
Tool.
I mean, that's really sobering looking at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on
Moving
a
on.
little bit of a lighter note, do you want to share, Chris, a little bit about your find that you had on here? That
Sure.
you're
The first one I might as well just to start. All right. I'm gonna go with the second one here for Walter Smith.
Oh, you're gonna go with the second one? Okay, just a second. Let me go back here. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna rip the Band-Aid off right off the bat.
All right. I thought you were gonna go with the centenarians there. Okay.
I'm gonna work my way up to that. Which one? Rip the Band-Aid off first.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
All right. This is kind of nasty. Beware of head injuries. 1 hour after hitting his head on the ice, Walter Smith died of his head injury. He was the former chief of police. And where was he? Ulmer. Wait, not the person who did that. Hold on.
North Carolina to
Walter
Maryland.
Smith?
It looks like
North Carolina. Which is I called on fell on the ice in Maryland. Yeah, that tracks. I was gonna say North Carolina. But yeah, that's and you see the obituary on this page, and this goes into detail. Although dazed, the injured man was able to rise up and walk to his home, but then he fainted an hour later. This is why you gotta go to the hospital. Let that be a lesson for you. All right, let's see what other facts should I check out. Number 3. Hopefully this one is a lot lighter. I have to go back. Go back. Number 3.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. Brothers Morris Shore and Samuel Shore, nephews of Jarrett's great-grandmother Pearl Watchman Ross, were educated at Girard College. This was the no-cost boarding school in Philly for fatherless white boys of limited means, created by a stupendously large endowment from the will of Stephen Anthony Girard, who was said to have been the richest man in America at the time of his death. Girard College is still operating to this day and provides free education to children of limited means from one-parent households, but is no longer restricted to white boys.
So I actually, I'm in touch with descendants of the Shore brothers, and
that's cool.
We got in touch with Girard College, and they sent us an entire file from the college, And apparently my great-grandfather, Harry Ross, who would have not, he wasn't the blood relation. He was married to Pearl. So, you know, their uncle technically was the one that like paid for a lot of stuff and was the contact for them while they were at Girard College.
Wow.
But
That's
it was
great.
funny because she actually matched through DNA and her last name is Shore. And I messaged her and I was like, you don't happen to be this Shore from this family? She was like, yes, I am. And I mentioned the Girard College thing and she said, oh yeah, I already got a file from them.
Nice.
That's amazing. I love it.
And Shores are a very, common name. I mean,
Yeah, that's why I was just like,
yeah.
really
Maybe.
rolling the dice, just saying, hey, is this your Shore family? But she was a close DNA match, so.
What if it's related to Pauly Shore? Hey, you gotta wonder, right? So, all right. The next one is for Harry James Peterson. According to his military record, this guy was 6'7". So that is pretty tall for his day, I think. Yeah, 6'7", tall and merciless. I mean, I'll see if I can find it.
It's pretty tall for any day.
Yeah.
He should have played for the Boston Celtics. Just saying. No, could have played for the Celtics. Could have been a contender. Do you want me to skip ahead to the one I made?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Skip ahead to the one I made. Helen, all right. You had me look up the Italians on Italian connections, right? So, and I did find many Italians, and I put them all up in the tree. You know, they went from Hoboken to like, let's see, Giannico, that's in Puglia, and there's another family, the Mastrobertis. I could not find where they were from, like at all. I asked my friends in the Italy project for help, and we just could not find where the Mastrobertis came from. But that's okay, because I found someone who lived to be over 100 years old that was connected to the Italians. This lady was named Helen Frances Henschel, and she lived to be 102 years old. She was born in 1914 and passed away in August of 2017 in Loma Linda, California. She was married to a guy named Charles Joseph LaGreco, and they were married in 1937 in Queens, New York. And the LaGrecos went all the way back to Leonforte, Sicily. And unfortunately, I couldn't go back further than 1885 because Leonforte's records are kind of fragmented. And if you go to Antonati, you'll see what I mean. It's just like, they have records from like 1830, 1835, and it just goes all over the map. We tried family search and we couldn't really find anything, but it was cool that we found this centenarian. That's how you pronounce it, right? Centenarian?
Centenarian, yeah.
All
so
right.
There were, just as a fun, a neat little side to know, that there were, let me go ahead and put this in here, if I can get it right.
Yeah.
You had a total of, let's see, having a little bit, there we go. So another search in WikiTree Plus. This time we're looking for profiles in the challenge that have that template centenarian.
Yeah.
I know 3 off
And
the
there
top
were
of my head.
6. Yeah, there were 6 actual profiles in there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice note, that they lived to be over 100. That's really neat.
Oh, that's right, Ruth Rutt.
Yep. They get the Jimmy Carter Award.
Okay.
You celebrated his 100.
The first 2 are my great-grandmothers, and then the third one is my second great-grandmother. Or no, my third great-grandmother, Rebecca Ecoff. But Max Mac Dicker, interesting.
Yeah, so this is a profile I got to work on. Mac and his brother Leo were owners, or they started the Dicker and Dicker Furs company, in Beverly Hills, and they, their furs were kind of like a luxury item that was given away on shows. What am I trying to say? Just game shows, different game shows in the 50s and 60s.
That's cool.
They were claim to fame. So there's an article on, I believe I have it on Mac's profile here.
You just barely squeaked into the
there's actually a couple articles that I have here, and one's a video where they're interviewing the owner of it now, or recently, that because it had to close because they outlawed furs in California. But anyway, it's just really interesting.
That's really cool. This is I know where this is through, because this is through my cousin's father's side, which she's related through her mom's side. So I wonder if she knows about this, because she would have been alive when he was alive. I think. When did it say that he died?
He died in
2019.
2019. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just 4 days after his 100th birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like the store didn't close till the next year, so he didn't have to see that. Guess he saw the legislation, but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. When did the store close exactly again?
I think it was 2020 that was.
Yeah, I just looked at the date on the article.
Yeah, I'm just
February
if it was
2020.
like COVID,
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder what game shows he had a hand in. Like, not like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, I'm sure, but.
They show a few in the video that's linked here. So, yeah, that was kind of a fun one to flesh out and write up for you. All right. So, and then I think we had some other interesting finds we were going to go over. Celia, did you have anything you wanted to talk about?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Oh, there was another profile I did. There's really kind of an interesting gentleman. He was, when he was 10 years old, he fell from a tree, and then he was in a car accident. So he had kind of lots of accidents that happened, accident prone, I guess you'd say. So, but he also was awarded. Yeah, he was awarded the Purple Heart because he was wounded in action. Yeah. So anyway.
Sounds like the definition of his life, wounded in action.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Just wow.
So just today, I clicked on the Pilch Casino. I didn't realize that someone found that she was born in Belts. Go up a little.
Okay.
It's probably number 11 or 10 or something.
Pilch, okay.
Yeah. So, Jarrett, do you know of any other relatives who are around there, like Belts and Chisinau?
Well, I mean, I know a line of my family from Kishinev, but it's not this line, because I know this is a marriage. She married one of my relatives, I believe, or I can't remember for sure.
Casino. Oh yeah, I'm not used to looking at this setup of the screen.
Yeah, she married. My cousin Erwin. So that's she married my great grandmother's brother.
Okay.
So this is the family. I think they migrated to Canada first, the Pilches, and then came into the U.S. if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, I had worked on some of them 3 years ago, some of the Pilch family, and this challenge was just so fun. And Melanie's too is a little bit like this, because a number of us had worked together in 2021, like Celia and Louis Kessler and me. So we were looking at and Chris too. We have a bunch of people who are still the same from 3 years ago, but we were looking at our research notes from those years ago. And we're like, oh man, we learned something new. We can fix it. And then we're like, oh no, still don't know. Can't answer that one. Research notes days.
Yeah, I know one thing that's always been interesting with the Pilch family is two of the sisters, number 4 and 5, Anna and Adele, both married Casino brothers. So Anna married Isidore Irwin, and then Adele married Martin Casino.
Do you know if you have any DNA matches on their children?
Yeah,
I
have DNA matches with both. Yeah, with both
on
sides.
all of them, so that would be that would show up as what do you call that? Double cousins? I forget the word.
Well, yeah, for them they would show up as double cousins.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm only related to them through the Casino line, but yeah, because actually I've been begging them to do Y DNA for years because the Casino Kazanovich line. So.
Was there anything else you wanted to share, Elaine, from the?
Not that I can think of. I was curious. I went to your talk in whenever it was at Roots Tech about the New Jersey colony. Do you know if people are actually living there on the agricultural colony?
Yeah, well, so in terms of like Jewish families who are trying to be part of the community in a sense,
yeah, and then restarting it because
living there, yeah. There are like a few kind of scattered throughout the area that are still there. Not many. Most of the people that are kind of part of that are more in the large town next to where the farming communities were, so Vineland and Millville and stuff like that. But like there's a lot of areas like outside of Alliance that are part of the Jewish farming communities that there's kind of more Jewish farming activity than an Alliance. So like one area that's called Carmel. Mm-hmm. I know that's one that a lot of people have heard of when it comes to the Jewish farming communities. When I went to visit there, it honestly felt like there was more families still living there that were part of that Jewish community than there were in actual Alliance, or especially like Brotmanville or Norma, which I guess for a lot of the people that have no clue what I'm talking about, I'm sure I'm just saying a lot of stuff that's like, what?
Yeah, I worked on that part more 3 years ago. I made an Alliance colony space page, and you know what? I don't even think I thought to update it this time. I need to go back and look at it because I'm sure we have more family members and CC7 and stuff that I can update it. If you just Google Alliance colony WikiTree, I bet it'll come up. I have no idea what state the page is in. I don't think I looked at it. I think I put like 5 of his relatives on it, and then yeah.
Well, maybe when you get a chance to add to it or whatever, you can add the link back to the space page for the challenge, so we can.
Sure. I can't believe I didn't think of that because anyway. Yeah.
No worries. So there were a few other interesting finds. One was by Anne Fiordalisi.
There
we go. She's found Jacob Israel, is it Korf? Was a leader of the Hebrew Hasidic movement in the United States. So she's got an article attached here for him, and she worked on his profile if you want to check that out.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and let's see. That we talked about the Pilch family there. And let's see what else we have. Oh, we have something left by Aaron Gullison. John Barrett has his will contested in an unusual way. Unsatisfied by what he received, his son Fred has his father's body disinterred and pieces of his brain cut out to be examined to prove that his father was of unsound mind. So that was very unusual.
Yeah, geez, talk about some serious steps to get some money.
It's a little bit. I hope it was a lot of money and not like $25 or something, you know?
Yeah. So here's, I think this is the plane crash you guys were mentioning, Lillian Weiss Ganulin. Her and her husband died in a plane crash near Moscow. Is that the one you were talking about, Elaine?
Yeah, it was. There's a Wikipedia article about it and stuff, just like how and why it happened. And yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, I think there were about 30 people on the flight, and it crashed just not too far away from the landing. It was really unfortunate. They had gone on basically a retirement kind of trip. And
oh, no.
I think I put
What's
the
really
Wikipedia
awful is
link
that
on
all
there.
the stuff that ends up getting like news stories so that we can get an interesting find about them are always horrible stories.
Yeah, like
Only
I'm
ones
sure
who
there are
really
tons of
need to
amazing things that
play.
just
People did cool things and had fun.
Yeah, right. All right. So does anybody else have anything that they wanted to share or talk about?
Oh,
have
We
any-
could show
well,
him the tree apps,
Oh, okay. Yep.
like the super tree. That's always a.
Oh, yes, that's right. The super tree. Let's see. Where am I
Super
at?
tree. That's
It's
that's
we're not overselling it here. It's a super tree.
yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So here, I'm just in your tree apps. It's the tab on your profile called tree apps, along with the edit and all that. So you can just choose from all these different options. And the super tree, and actually this is a brand new slippy tree. I haven't had a chance to check that out yet, but
That was looking pretty cool.
yeah, so super tree, I think that's by Greg.
Yeah, he's always improving this app, like every day.
There's always new stuff with Greg, and it's
Yeah, you gotta
always
keep
fun
up.
to see what he's going to come up with. So this is just so many options that you can do with this way to view your family. You can go up ancestors, and then you can also go out to the side. You can add cousins and in-laws. So it's still
And all of
loading here.
Greg's stuff usually you can color code to see like when people intermarry and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can see when there's, yeah, here we go. Yep. And it's just going to take a minute to aunts and uncles, first cousins, just really a lot of options that you can kind of play around with and dial in if you're looking for certain things or want to see your information in a certain way.
That's cool. So you can really manipulate the view.
Yeah.
And if you really get bored, you can do like the Fandoku mini game on
Yeah, he even has a game in here.
Yeah.
fun.
It's there's a lot of different things that you can do on here with the data.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. And then of course Hacktoberfest is happening right now, so probably be more things being added to
Come back in a month and it could be even more awesome.
all our great volunteer programmers, developers and testers. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
all right. So is there anything else we should cover? Am I forgetting anything, y'all? We don't have Greg here. He covers quite a bit, so we're feeling the loss of him today.
Well, I don't have any stats or anything to share, so anything math related.
Yeah, we did stats a little earlier. We had Lewis, he was the MVP for the week with that many profiles, and Elaine was right behind him. So it was really great working together.
We still have plenty more that we can pull from Jarrett's ancestry tree also, like with sources and everything. Like I bet we could make it to 2000 maybe. So yeah,
I think you can. I challenge you all to make it.
Yeah. So definitely, I'll mention it to our team L'chaim and for our January thon. So we have like 3 connect-a-thons a year. I think the thon coming up this weekend is source-a-thon, but connect-a-thon the rest of the time. So that's adding more people to the tree, basically. And of course, as you add more people, you make connections. So connect-a-thon. Yeah. But anyway, so I'll mention it. So maybe at the end of January, you'll see a good bump. So
I swear, 3 years ago, I swear the Netherlands project hit almost every single Netherlands relative you had within 7 degrees already. Because I was going through there. I'm like, I've got to be able to find something. Like, this is all I do. And I found 20. I'm like, you've got... You have so many, but I think that's what made up so much of your CC7 in the first place was all those Dutch relatives because they're on there. But
yeah,
I'll keep trying. I could not. I'm 21 degrees away from you, but through the Dutch connection, it's 25. Like just going to the Netherlands, it's 25. I reconnected you to the tree probably about 25 times, and I still couldn't get it to budge. But I have not by blood, but by marriage, I have a Dutch-Jewish connection only 14 degrees away. I'm like, it should be doable, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
You might need to focus on the Dutch Ashkenazi lines for the next one, because I think you were focusing a lot on the Sephardi ones, which are really interesting, obviously.
Yeah.
Wait, what's one of your surnames that's Dutch Ashkenazi?
So the Moscow family or the Moscow family.
Okay.
And then it goes from there to Virjong and De Jong, and I guess it's not
I remember now. Okay.
Virjong and very young.
Yeah. Well, De Jong is one of those super common names.
Heck, De Jong Amana. Yeah, it's Jane Moscow. That's my Dutch Ashkenazi lines.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask though, how do the Italians connect to you? Because I haven't really quite figured that out. Like how the Italian families connect to you.
So on the Nunes Vaz line, when you trace it back to the patriarch of the Dutch Nunes Vaz line, he was born and actually died in Livorno, Italy.
Yeah.
And then there's an entire Livorno, Italy family called the Nunes Vaz family, spelled slightly different, but we're 90% sure it's the exact same family as ours. Working on Y-DNA to try to figure it out and prove it. Just have to convince one of them, which I have half a dozen people.
I could push that line back if you really want me to. Like, it's all on Anthony anyway. I stopped at like the 10th degree before I could, go back further.
Chris, I think that the Italian line you were working on was, we'd have to like do the connection on WikiTree to verify my memory, but I think it was one of Jarrett's siblings' in-laws somehow. Like it was. It was a very random person who just happened to be at degree 5, but it was not the one that Jarrett just mentioned. I think we may have found 2 like in-laws of in-laws type people who are more recent.
My Italian connections are way back then.
Okay. Well, that's really cool to know, though.
But hey, if you can get further on them, Chris, that'd be amazing because I don't do a whole lot of Tuscany research, and so I dive back into it here and there. But
you got me on Discord. I'll be sure to poke you with a couple of.
Click the all there. Us here at the end of the line for Italy.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, it's just saying click the all for the just to pull up.
Check out the Pizia Consolier. The name was Pizia. You had like some other name for her. It was definitely just Pizia. I don't know how you got the other name. I forget what it was. Check the changes.
Well, I was just gonna do what the connection is.
That's right. This was through that line was through my aunt's biological family.
Okay.
So, or my aunt's biological mother's one of her partners or one of her husbands or something like that, but not my aunt's biological father.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because Jane Charger is my that's my aunt.
Yeah. There's a lot of gymnastics going on here. I was like, wait a minute. But we had it all sorted out. Everything's all great.
All right. Well, I think we're coming up to an hour. So if anybody has anything, this is our last call to talk about it or ask.
I didn't have any YouTube chat pulled up. Like this is the only screen I have pulled up. So is there anyone on who's watching who had a question or anything?
Not that I've seen.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Just saying hello and
Get them out of chatting though.
Okay. Just thought I would check. Didn't want to leave anyone hanging.
Oh, here we go. Yoke says, I think only if they're connected to Jarrett through a non-private person will we see them on the WikiTree Plus, or maybe the maps is what they're Yoke is talking about.
Okay.
Oh, and Melanie's tuned in. That's great.
Yeah, it's late over there. It's not so late for Azure and me.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice, Dr. Shelley King. Hi. There's stuff I need to send you. I forgot.
Yeah.
Very sad. Yeah.
Been verified. That's that site you were talking about.
Yeah, Been Verified is great. That's a wonderful site for if you're doing especially research to find living relatives to connect. Or if you're doing adoptee research, or if you're an investigative genetic genealogy.
That's what when I'm helping people find biological parents. Yeah, that I'm on that all the time.
I don't know white pages. Yeah.
White pages is a good source too. It's just people don't update white pages as much as they used to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of Been Verified scrapes the internet and gets everything. So the only thing better than Been Verified is if you can get into the Nexus Lexus network, but that's a whole different animal.
You get really desperate, go stalk people on Facebook. That's another topic. That's if you really want to get desperate.
Yeah. Trust me, I've probably sent over 1,000 Facebook messages just for genealogy. Actually, I wonder if I could track that. I wonder if I've hit like over 10,000. I would not be surprised.
But here's the thing: not everybody checks the other messages on Facebook on the app. So
no. I definitely 10 years ago I was getting way more responses than I do these days. Yeah, we can sleuth just about anything, that's for sure.
Yep.
I feel
just remember that
one genealogist I spoke to was saying that one of the things about genealogists that makes them really good about everything is that they don't necessarily know everything. They know how to try to find it.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that.
And
it's a different way to go about things.
Because on my videos, I don't know if you all get this in the WikiTree videos ever, but I get people all the time, how can you call yourself a genealogist and you didn't know about this very specific historical population that happened here in this area? And like,
that was like 500 years ago.
There's so much to know.
Really?
Yeah, there's so many specific groups to be expert on that you couldn't be an expert on at all. There's just too many varieties of.
Yeah, like how can you be like an expert on like Chinese migration during the Middle Ages when you just work on Italian genealogy? Like, really?
Yeah, totally different. Yeah. All right. Well, I did want to give a couple plugs before we close out. The next challenge is up. You can register for it. It's for the archive lady, Melissa Barker. She's going to be our 14th challenge of this year. So go ahead and check that out. It's on the WikiTree Challenge help page. It's also pinned in the G2G community forum. And then also Melissa, as well as Dr. Shelley, who's in the chat, and Melanie that's in the chat, will be giving presentations for WikiTree Week and Symposium that's coming up at the beginning of November. So the registration for that is also open. If you guys want to check that out, let me go ahead and just show that page to you really quick. We have 22 speakers and 27 presentations going on. Of course, like everything at WikiTree, it's free. And if you register, you're entered to win door prizes. So check that out. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Jarrett, for being our guest for this week. We really enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. Just like last time. It's always wonderful to be part of the challenge week.
Well, it's great to have you. Feel free to drop by anytime. Yeah,
we like having you in chat. Come back.
Yeah, it was great chatting with you in Discord and collaborating there. Yeah, all right, well, we'll see everybody around, and tune in for the kickoff of the Source-a-thon tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern.
Bye.
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 Bye.